What if the so-called 7 deadly sins were never meant to be moral judgments cast from above, but rather ancient keys, each one pointing to a blocked current in the inner temple of the self? What if they were shadows cast by the light of the chakras, distortions of sacred energy calling us not to repent, but to remember? In truth, this is not a story about sin. It is a story about energy, about the soul's descent into matter and its long journey back to source. Each chakra is a gate, and each sin is the guardian of that gate when the soul has forgotten its divine origin. Let us walk through these veils. Greed lives at the root. When the earth feels unstable beneath us, we hoard, we grasp, we forget that the Great Mother provides. But beneath greed is a longing to feel safe, to know we are supported by the pulse of Gaia. When this chakra awakens, the fear of lack dissolves and generosity flows like rivers underground. Lust coils in the sacral. Desire becomes distorted when we disconnect from the sacredness of touch, of union. Lust is not evil. It is the cry of creative energy longing to remember its divine rhythm. In balance, it becomes sacred sensuality, the dance of the feminine and masculine in harmony. Wrath burns in the solar plexus, a fire out of control, but not born of evil, born of wounding, a flame that was never taught how to lead. Wrath is the rage of the disempowered soul, but when remembered, this fire becomes divine will, the inner sun that forges purpose and courage. Envy bleeds from the heart. The heart that has forgotten it is loved will always ache for what it sees in another. Envy is the shadow of disconnection, the illusion of separation. But when the heart opens, envy becomes inspiration. We begin to see the divine in others and thus in ourselves. Pride rises in the throat. It masks itself as strength, but it fears to be seen in its raw human truth. Pride blocks the voice from speaking what is real, from crying, from whispering, from praying. But when humility returns, pride melts into sacred expression. The voice becomes a bridge between worlds. Sloth clouds the third eye, not laziness, but spiritual forgetting, a refusal to see, to awaken. Sloth is the sleep of the soul beneath the illusion of time. But stillness is not slumber. When vision returns, sloth becomes silence, the still, watchful eye of inner knowing. Gluttony drips from the crown, not just hunger for food, but a hunger for more, endlessly. Even in the spiritual world, the seeker becomes addicted to light, to visions, to ecstasy, forgetting that all of it already lives within. But when this hunger is transmuted, it becomes divine union, the fullness of emptiness, the feast of spirit. These sins are not punishments. They are veiled initiations. To awaken the chakras is to transmute the sins, not by resisting them, but by understanding them, embracing them, integrating them. The serpent does not climb the spine in purity. It climbs through the mud, the fire, the hunger, the grief. And through this sacred journey, the shadow becomes the offering. The sins become the sacred. And you, beloved traveler, become the light.